Welcome to the CrossFit Hershey Open Update Show, brought to you this week by the Chubby Unicorn Food Truck.
Yeah, if you love delicious fried foods, meat that falls off the bone, and fried pickles.
Fried pickles.
Fried pickles.
What's the deal with those fried pickles? What's the deal? Huge announcement though this week. This week they have let us know at the Chubby Unicorn that there's an expansion coming. A new
exciting things, guys.
Yeah,
That's
new
right.
truck. A new truck.
Yeah.
So 2 trucks now that they're going to have. And the new truck, the new expansion truck is going to be a vegan food truck called the Skinny Zucchini.
That's right, guys. The Skinny Zucchini is your #1 place to find foods that taste bland and probably are a little uncomfortably healthy relative to what you'd expect from a food truck. You know, was that meat so delicious and flavorful that you thought, I need less? Well, congratulations. The tofu lettuce wrap, will probably not wow you. All right? The hummus is like, if you couldn't afford chips and salsa, this is what's left. You know, it's just an unbelievable spread for people who don't want to eat delicious food. It's,
And an homage to the partner truck,
Yes.
Unicorn on the Cob.
Yes,
You know,
unicorn on the cob.
gotta have unicorn on the cob. But
Vegan butter, because
vegan butter.
butter tastes too buttery.
Yeah. So, with that being said, we just want to thank our partner, the Chubby Food Truck, and also the Skinny Zucchini Food Truck that'll be coming to an area near you soon. With that said, we have an open announcement. We have a retest, a repeat of 17.1. I think we all kind of saw this potentially coming because the equipment list that got released, we thought maybe last week it would be here. But nope, it's here now. So if you were around in 2017, you know this workout. You remember this workout because it was the first time we saw a dumbbell in the open.
Yep, changed our lives forever. And if you were a member of this gym like 2 months ago, we did this workout. So that means a lot of you will have experience not only perhaps in the past, but very recently with how you broke it up, kind of how you pace the burpees, and a lot of things we're going to talk about.
And specifically, that's February 19th. So you can go back to your SugarWatt app. You can pull it up and you can check the score and see what you got. Remember, like any notes you might have put there. This is when we talk about putting notes in SugarWatt. This is really important if you want to document how your workout went. For something like this, we now have some data on it already, so you know what time you're going after to beat, so you can maybe try to beat your previous time. With that said, let's just break down the workout. It's a 20-minute time cap. We have 10 dumbbell snatches, and it's an ascending ladder of dumbbell snatches. So 10, then 20, then 30, then 40, then 50, and in between those, and even to finish it off, is burpee box jumps, 15 burpee box jumps.
Box jump over.
Overs, yeah, sorry, box jump overs, definitely, yeah. What stands out to this workout to you, Richard, as you think about your 17.1 performance, but then also you did a variation of this recently that I watched you do, which was a little different of the breakup of the reps, but very similar.
There's a couple things you really got to think about. So first, let's just talk a couple quick standards, right? For the dumbbell snatch, it's very important. Both heads of the dumbbell must touch, and that's for all 3 divisions, RX, scaled, and foundations, all right? From there, for the burpee box jump over, there's going to be a line that we will actually put in tape, and you'll have to be in line with your box. So none of that, like I'm over here thing. In line, you will have to split the line. Your judge will look for that, and then you can jump for RX. Step over is acceptable for both scaled and for foundations as well. So that's important to know. Right? We're going to put a line for every single box. Additionally, foundations is just burpees, so there's no box involved there. Your burpee standard will be explained to you by your coaches, but that's worth noting, right? You're doing burpees on the floor versus that burpee over the box jump.
Yeah, I think when I think about this workout, I think about just the burpee pacing or early on, just pacing the workout in general early on, like if you're thinking about strategy, any workout in general, this is a good thing to think about. I think we even saw it a little bit last week. You can get sucked into those wall walks feeling like, oh, I'm crushing it through the round of 6, and then bam, 9 and 15 hit you, and you're just like, oh, this hurts. The same is going to be true here with the dumbbell snatches ascending, and then also with having that kind of 15 burpees. I always feel like I get through the first 10, and then the last 5 of this one, like the last 5 each round, kind of start to get at you. So having a pace early, if you sprint those first 15 burpees or are really pushing the pace those first 15, you got to know what you can sustain. So kind of have an idea of what you can hold and let that kind of determine your pace early on. So just don't go out too hot because it will catch up to you. Obviously a low back workout. Like I think when I think of this workout, I think my low back is going to start feeling it. So really warming that up well, rolling out even with a foam roller before.
Yeah, there's a lot of things obviously we'll talk about a little bit more in class as far as like movement efficiency, like bending the legs a little bit so we're not reaching and rounding the back. I know when I did this in 17, I redid it because I was trying to get a little bit of a better score. And it took me probably 3 days to stand upright, not quite like a caveman. So it was one of those things, we've gotten better with the movements. That was our first touch, like he mentioned. But moving well there is going to not only be important in the workout, I think, in the set of 50. If you really go full spinal in the first couple, that last set is a third of the workout. So I think being efficient early on will be important if you want to go, bigger chunks or perhaps even unbroken, depending on what you're looking at. Just moving well there. And then on the burpees, like you said, your pace. So some of us can push the burpees a little bit. I know for myself, I want to push the dumbbell and kind of fight through the burpees. This one, it's really going to come down to being mindful that you can get to pretty much here and you haven't really done much of the workout, all right? You're only 60 dumbbell snatches and 30 of the 75 burpees in. So you have to be very mindful that you don't kind of, same trap that we saw last week where you got to the 6 or the 9 and was like, oh, this is a very different workout than 1 and 3 felt.
And just to be clear, when he says only 60 snatches, you have 90 left.
Yeah, 150
so
total.
You're not even close to halfway done with that workout at that point, and you can feel like, oh, I got there so fast, and I checked so much off the list, but there's so much left. So being mindful of that. I think a few of the other things from efficiency standpoint, handing off that dumbbell, the standard in 17.1 was that you had to bring it below your eye level before you swithed.
Yep.
Now you can drop it from wherever because apparently CrossFit feels more comfortable since we've been doing this for a few years now.
We're responsible now. We're definitely not going to just
We're adults now.
Yeah.
We're adults now. But so some of you maybe do have that ability to kind of ghost it and catch it. I'm not saying that's something that you should do if you don't have it, but for those of you who, for me, I know I always had to consciously think about bringing it below my eyes if that was a standard at a comp or somewhere else, since it was in 17.1. Now being able to drop and catch that I think that will help some people's time. I mean, or at least help mentally not have to think about that because I know when I can just shut my mind off and not think about that, I go a little bit more smooth. So the handing off of the dumbbell, I think how you do your burpees efficiently, thinking about whenever you're with a box, sometimes your head gets too close to the box, you're too far away from the box, and you have to now close that distance. So trying to have a marker, whether it's on that tape line, that you put yourself a marker of some kind that's okay, this is where I need to go. This is where my eyes should be dropping when I drop down on this part of the tape. And then when you come up from that burpee, stepping up that burpee instead of bringing both feet up is probably a good idea. You saw some people, even the athletes in the second round of the open announcement, kind of turning a little bit because you can turn to the other side of that tape.
Once you're off the ground, you're allowed to get up off the line, but you must lie down on the line every time. So again, I think personally that's nice. I don't have to worry about it. It just takes that out of my mind. If I'm lying down, if it's splitting me down the middle, then check, And same thing for as a judge, instead of being maybe their foot's outside the box, you're on the line. Simple enough.
Yeah. I don't really have anything else to add. I think there's this is one of those where there's been a lot said about this workout. So I would say if you're really coming in maybe to 5 a.m. and you're kind of thinking through strategies, you could certainly probably Google 17.1 strategies. There's going to be some strategies out there. I think the strategy for this one, though, is really going to be just to control a pace because I think you're going to have a lot of time standing around if you break up those dumbbells and you're really getting gassed by the burpee. So thinking of, I could have a 5-second burpee pace, or I could have a 10-second burpee pace that I could hold, that I'm not going to take a 30-second break from afterwards, or so something like that. Thinking that direction of trying not to have too much rest time. I think this is one where you just kind of got to grit and bear it. There's not a ton of strategy.
Yeah, like you said, slow burpees are better than no burpees. And I think too, one thing to remember, right? If these were snatches with real weight on them, right? You brace and you tense a certain way. This is 50, 35, 20, 10, whatever pounds you're using, relative to your strength, that's not very high. So you shouldn't be like the Tin Man, not breathing, super tense, because that's going to just destroy you on the burpees. I try to stay pretty fluid when I do these. I want to stabilize my back, of course, but I kind of like the rest of me just kind of move with the dumbbell and, not treat a 50-pound dumbbell like it's a 250-pound snatch. It's just, you don't need to brace that hard as long as you're in good positions.
What equipment might we need for this? Really, I mean, as far as when I'm thinking equipment. I mean, I guess maybe tape your thumbs. I know
Definitely
it crashes on
tape.
on your like.
I've got permanent scars. My hand modeling career has been really ruined by CrossFit. I was an aspiring, well, my cat also. Taping the thumbs is a pretty good idea. Beyond that, some people with jumping, maybe you want like just a layer on your shins, or like knee sleeves.
Knee sleeves,
When I jump, my knees tend to get a little beat up, so I'll probably wear knee sleeves on this one. But beyond that, I think it's just more about moving well.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't really have anything else to add. I don't know if there's any final thoughts you have. I mean, I just think for this one, I can't emphasize a pace enough. I think if we're gonna feel like we got a lot done when we get to that round of 30, like you said, of like, oh, I did the 30 snatches, and then it's like you're really still. Yeah. I just remember doing this in February and feeling like, oh wow, I've got a lot left.
Yeah, I think again, we'll talk about it more in person, but there, like you said, there's a lot of cool content on this. You can even watch other people do it. I'm gonna go try to find my 17.1 video too. Actually, it's a different era, so it'll be funny to watch for sure. But guys, good luck again. I'm excited to see what you guys do. Go for it. Again, there's nothing wrong with really pushing the pace at the end and trying to give it as good an effort as you got here. You can always do another burpee. So keep moving. We're rooting for you. He'll see you first thing in the morning. Jen will see you at 9 a.m. and I'll see you all evening after that. So crush it. We're excited for you guys. And remember, the theme of the week, wear your favorite Philadelphia. No, I'm kidding. Wear your favorite high school, college, or professional sports team gear. Again, I'm pretty open-ended with it, so it can be like a minor league thing. I don't really care. Just show up, get your participation for your point, unless you're not on my team, in which case. But by the way, team number one and done is number one. So
it's not how you start the workout; it's how you finish the workout. Same with the competition. So good job winning round one. We'll see who wins the last one.
In the heat. That's right.
All right, see y'all tomorrow. That's good. Nothing's in my teeth. Teeth check.
Unique New York.
Next week we have to dress up like Anchorman. Like
I wish I had a red suit. We were at a Men's Warehouse, and I was like, "Look at this red suit." She's like, "You have to get a black one." I'm like, I'm definitely wearing a red suit at some point.
Oh man.